Hi, and welcome to another edition of OnsideSA, the soccer show that keeps you informed. And Budge and I have got a really interesting show today because we're going to be talking about the 108 entries left in the last one standing and some of the players who are going through, especially after this late stage in the competition. And we know we've got a major tournament, a soccer final coming up between Sutton and Rotherham, and we're speaking to one of Suttonham's top fans. And Stephen Murphy is in the studio in the UK. We will be talking to him. Budge and I have done our homework. We want to find out how they're going to do. But first, let's get rolling with our last one standing. Budge, 108 people left.
Yeah, Paul, you've got, there's 83 entrants still going. Paul, it's the most we've had after round 5. We may have had 1 or 2, maybe more entries. Yeah. People have got a few, but you've got the breakdown there, Paul, and
69 people with 1 pick,
yeah.
11 people with 2 picks, 1 with 3 picks, 1 with 4 picks, and 1 who's got 10 picks.
It's still the Singapore Sling candidate.
Singapore Slinger.
Yep, Stevie Griffiths.
I'm just going through, there's a lot of people.
Yeah, that's all the guys that, last week we mentioned the ladies, and obviously our international mates and previous winners, so that's the guys, Paul. There's mountains of the boys, so I know several of them have sent me their picks.
They got their picks in already.
Yeah, a lot of them have jumped.
A lot of our close mates have done well, which doesn't give me the bragging rights. But you've got to comment when you see people in here. I must mention a few to you. Mark Curry, my mates, he always does well. But there was 1 or 2 that I loved.
Gary Citron without the E?
Gary Citron without the E, that's right. He's going in there. Andre van Bassen, or Andrew, he's still going strong. I'm just looking. Graham Pozain, the footballer,
Yeah.
Michelle Narak, the TKO.
I just can't believe that, Paul.
I can't believe the CEO is still going. That is amazing. Phil Giorgio is always up there, and no relation of his, Chris Giorgio.
Yeah.
Gavin Lane. Myself, I'm still going, which is great.
It's strange.
Yeah, very strange. But I did get close once.
Yeah, that's true.
I'll never forget it. Peter Barker, still going strong. Yeah, so there's a few that I don't know. The boy from the south, one of the tote favourites.
Yeah,
he's
very
going
quiet,
well.
Paul. Yeah, but
The boy from the south must have a child. Mark Dixon, the racehorse trainer.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's those are the guys going through. We did the girls last week. Now, you've worked out the betting, Budge, on who's going to win this last one standing, and you've got Alan Costa with 3 picks.
Paul, now the reason I've said 3 picks, the top 3 teams in the league, other than Man United and Spurs, are Liverpool, Man City and Chelsea.
Yes.
Alan can still use all 3. While the other guys I've mentioned there can still use Liverpool and Man City.
Paul DeCarmo,
yeah.
Mark Weinstein, Denver for Mark. Is Alan Costa anyway related to the Breeders?
I think he is. No. I think Alan, I think it's part of the Costa fan, Stella fan.
Stella
I haven't
family.
spoken to him. I've got to get hold of him, chat to him about it, but he loves his football.
All right, as we promised you, we said we're going to be going over and talk to our man in London. Now, we've got Stephen Murphy, who is from Sutton United Football Club, and they're very close to my home in the UK. I've been past it many times, Gander Green Lane. Stephen, are you about?
Hi, Paul.
Hi, how are you doing?
Very well, thanks. Excited about Sunday.
Yeah. Nervous for Sunday?
Not so much. I think the real achievement was getting to the final, so I'm happy whatever the result is. It sounds really strange, but I think this is one match where I'm going to enjoy it, whatever the result.
Yeah, well, you sound not too confident, but the one thing I will say to you is Wigan, in my opinion, are a better side than Rotherham, and you knocked them out in the semi-finals, so surely that's got to give you some hope.
Yes. Hartlepool had a great match against Rotherham in the semi-final and only lost on penalties, and I think we're better than Hartlepool, so there's a chance, but Rotherham are top of League One, so they're a division above us. It's going to be a tough game, and in the semi-final, Wigan at times overran us. we had a tough game to beat Wigan. So, yeah, everything being even, we won't be favourites, but we have a shot.
Yeah, but Wembley can be a neutralising factor. Be a big crowd there, obviously, and you never know. It's on the day, Steve. That's cup final football.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's 17,500 tickets being sold by Sutton.
Okay.
So it'd be a really good crowd at our end.
Okay.
It'd just be so exciting to be there.
Of course.
Yeah, Stephen, a couple of questions. What is the nickname of Sutton Football Club? Because I looked it up and I found 3 of them.
No, that question I didn't hear.
Your nickname? Why are you called? We saw. Is it the U's, or is that your main nickname?
The United. So we say the U's, claret and ambers. We say because the kit colour.
Yeah.
The Yellows.
The Yellows, is that another name of yours?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, it's a disputable because we say our shirt colour is amber, but yeah, yellow is the base colour of that, I guess.
All right, Steve, just a fact, I don't know if you know this, but I hope it's not ushering bad news. No London club has ever won the trophy. Hopefully you're the first.
No, I didn't know that. Another fact is Sutton have been to Wembley in amateur status a few times and lost every time they've been there. So Sutton have never won at Wembley. Haven't played there for 40 odd years. So yeah, there's a few bad portents, I guess, but no, every streak can come to an end. So yeah, I don't know why London clubs aren't so successful. It may well be that London clubs aren't so much represented in League One and League Two. They tend to be Premier League and Championship teams. So there may be fewer London clubs in those divisions.
All right. Well, there's one thing in your favour. South African are born winners, and you've got a guy I actually played baseball against, Gary Otto. He's a shareholder. Do you know him?
No, I don't know him at all. No.
Okay, he's actually a Durban boy who came good, made money in Chicago, from what I'm led to believe, and he's a shareholder in Sutton, so he'll be there. Now, will you extend the bench on Sunday, because most people in Durban know Sutton United for the famous incident with the Power Man. Will he be there?
He hasn't sort of been heard of in Sutton conversations since that incident. It would still be quite fitting for him to be there, because he put Sutton on the world map, if you like, from Internet Pie. Because we have another Durbanite who will be there, Mrs. Lafferty. So even if he's not there, it will be represented by South Africa from your wife.
Okay.
Any injury worries? I did read something, Stephen, about they spoke to a couple of supporters, a Rotherham supporter called Danny Glaves. He spoke about it. They went through twice on penalties. You went through twice on penalties, and then he was saying it's first visit in 41 years, but he doesn't know if there'll be injuries for the final. Any injuries that you know of?
On the Sutton end?
Yeah.
Yeah, last few weeks.
Oh, gosh, just kicked off.
Okay, just for a moment, we've lost Stephen. We'll get him back on the line any moment now and carry on. But just to tell you about this is called the Papa John's Trophy. It's played at Wembley. And so the only South Yorkshire club to have gone to the new Wembley and the old Wembley. So very interesting. It's going to be a real big time for them. And let's hope the Murphys, who are taking my wife to the game with them, come away with a result, even if it's on penalties. But a great occasion for them, Budge?
Yeah, good luck to them, Paul. It should be big crowd. I remember when Preston got there for one of the finals, it took like 25,000 people there. Yeah. So all the people that go and watch the bigger clubs, they've got...
Sutton's a very small ground.
Yeah.
It takes 5,000 people, whereas Rotherham takes 12,000 people. So it's difference in leagues, but Sutton are fighting hard to get promoted, 2 points beyond Port Vale, who are fourth. And they beat Port Vale, getting to the final of this. And Rotherham are leading, even though the second team have got a couple of games in hand. So both teams are fighting for promotion. This will be a big boost if they win.
Yeah, big boost, Paul. Also, it's a great day for the fans. And that's what it's all about. The fans Fans love it, Paul. I've been to Wembley. It's a great stadium.
Yeah, me too. It was Spurs' home ground.
And I was unfortunately, Man United, Chelsea was the first final back there.
Yeah.
Drogba scored injury time, but anyway.
Anyway, so Budge, well, it was wonderful speaking to him. You know, the manager of Rotherham's a guy called Paul Warne.
Yeah.
And what the manager is
Matthew Gray. He's from the Spurs Academy. Played for Spurs youngster, Paul.
So I'll be rooting for them. And as you say, there's a South African influence. So that, unfortunately, right at the end of that interview, we did lose Stephen, but we've got our message out and we're really thinking about them and hoping they can come away with a win, eh, Budge?
Yeah, definitely, Paul.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's on TV. Hopefully ESPN show it. So let's hope it's on. We can watch it.
Well, I will get updates. Janice is going to the game, so she'll be at Wembley. Okay, we're going to get Stevie B on the line now that we've finished with Stephen. All the best to Stephen. How are you doing there, Stevie B?
I'm very well. I'm just watching the English girls destroy your South African women in the semi-finals.
Sorry, it's a bad line.
Yeah, well, we don't normally do too well at knockout stages, but what can you do? Yeah, you know, very tough.
It shows how sad that I am that this is the only cricket team England cricket team that's doing well.
Yeah.
But,
Right, what have we got for Steve today?
World Cup playoffs. You know, Poland. I watched the Poland game, quite a bit of that. I always disappointed in Sweden. I thought they'd make a game of it, but they came with a defensive.
Yeah, they don't travel very well, and they try to keep it really tight. But you know, for me, to be honest, with Italy going out, you know, there wasn't much in either of the games really. Poland and Portugal were definitely going to go through in my book.
Yeah. And Africa, unfortunately we never had it. I was hoping to watch the Senegal-Egyptian game. Bit of controversy at the end. Another penalty shootout.
Very much so. And then a lot of problems there. And then obviously Salah missing a penalty for Egypt that cost them. It's you sort of write the script. So the Mane through and Salah out. So.
Yeah. The big thing here is Nigeria got beat by Ghana. I saw there was a little bit of trouble after the game, Steve.
They wrecked the place.
It was a lot of trouble, and I think somebody died.
Yes, it was a doctor.
It was a direct result. Terrible.
I mean,
it's not the first time.
Kick them out, Steve. You don't need that rubbish.
No, exactly. So.
Anyway. Cameroon, Morocco, and Tunisia sneaked through. But Steve, back to the Premiership. And this is the run-in, as we say in horse racing, and some big games this week. First game I've got to ask you, Steve, Leeds United, Southampton. How do you see that going?
Yeah, I mean, look, Southampton have just had a little bit of a wobble recently.
Yeah.
And I think Leeds, I've just found a little bit of form. I think that Leeds will edge it. I can't see Leeds losing. And I think they've got one or two players coming back. And I think they'll get themselves out of trouble now.
Yeah, I agree. I don't see them going down. Southampton, you just never know what they're going to do. Hard to, even though they played well against City for an hour, got run off the turf of the death. Birmingham derby, Wolves versus Aston Villa.
Yeah, well, Wolves, again, such an inconsistent side. They go one week you think they're going to win and they don't. I think this will be a low-scoring game. Wolves don't give that much away. Villa have found a little bit of form. For me, I think it's more likely a draw than anything else. But Villa, you're not sure what you're going to get with them. They've shown a bit of form recently, so I can see Villa not losing this one.
Okie dokie. Now, Man United, Leicester. United, you just don't know what you're going to get, do you?
No, exactly, and the fact this is all they've got to play for now is to try to find a way to keep to hold on to fourth. They to catch Arsenal in fourth. So this is a must-win game for them. They can't afford. I know they've obviously had a lot of players out playing all over the world, but they've got to find a way to win this. And I think that coupled with the fact they've got to sort this situation out with the United manager.
Yeah.
Because I don't think this is helping at all. There's so much speculation about players coming and players going that I think that they've just got to concentrate now the last few games, and they've got to try and find a way to get back into contention. So I think they'll win, but I think it'll be close.
Yeah, me too. On to Sunday, two big games there. West Ham against a struggling Everton. How do you see it?
Yeah, well, I mean, Everton have got to find some form, or they are really in trouble. And West Ham, we know, is relatively strong at home. I think as things stand, if they've got players fit, I think West Ham should win this. I don't think they'll win it easily, but I think they'll win it. Yeah, and I think this is a worrying time for Lampard, because he made some comments about his team, in the last game, and I don't think that went down very well with everybody. So, he needs to back them rather than keep slating them. So we'll see whether he gets a reaction or not.
Yeah, Tottenham Newcastle, another game on Sunday.
Yeah, I think that Tottenham are just starting to show a bit of form. I think Paul will be pleased. I know Newcastle have obviously really clawed themselves out of trouble, but I think Tottenham should be too strong. Kane and Son, carrying on with their partnership. I think I'd be surprised if they don't win this time.
Yeah, thank you, Steve. Steve, while I've got you on the line, don't you think it's a poor show that the English fans booing Maguire?
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, he didn't play badly for England.
Yes.
When he's played for them. So the fact that he's having a bit of a difficult time for United shouldn't have any reflection on him being picked for England. So yeah, that's happened in the past. There've been players that have got booed. Sterling a little while ago was getting booed, and now obviously he turned the corner and he's scoring goals for England. So it goes in cycle, but it's still, it's certainly just heaping pressure on a player who is under pressure, certainly for his club side.
You're more than likely fond of a Man United fans booing him, but anyway, you just got to roll the sleeves up. With the money's on, Steve.
Yeah.
Roll the sleeves up, keep quiet and work through it.
Right. They've got to be thick-skinned. They're going to get booed, at various times in their career. They're just going to get on with it.
Yeah, I totally agree. Steve, on to the championship. Your boys need
London
a couple of results. Can you beat QPR?
Yeah, I mean, we can. We have a pretty good record over there. QPR are so inconsistent at the moment. I mean, they won like 2 and lost 5 in their last 7.
Yeah.
They lost at home to Peterborough 3-1, who had the worst away record in the championship. But you have to assume that they will be up for this. It's the West London derby. They can't afford to lose QPR, because otherwise they can start to fall away in the playoff chase. For us, obviously we've got a lot of players that have been on international duty. We hope they all come back fit. We don't know at this stage what's going on.
Yeah.
We win, will put us on 80 points, and we're probably only a couple of wins maximum away from promotion. Probably 85, 86 will pretty much guarantee going up. We're on 77, so it's in our hands. I would be very surprised if we don't win, but if QPR raise their game, they could hold us.
Okay. Blackpool, Notts Forest.
Yeah, it'd be a really good game. I mean, Forest have now they're out the cup. They've got to concentrate on the league. They've got games in hand. Blackpool is strong at home.
Yeah.
They're having, they're adrift of a playoff place, but I think they could hurt any team that goes there. I think Forest have got to show the sort of form they showed in the cup to get a result. They've had a bit of a wobble in the league, Forest, particularly away. And I think they need to concentrate now. But I can't see Forest losing, but I think Blackpool have got enough at home to hold them.
All right, the big game at the bottom of the championship, Barnsley-Reading.
Yeah, I think, Barnsley have showed a little bit of form in the last sort of month or so. Reading have had a couple of wins. I think, Barnsley have to win this to catch Reading, basically. If Reading win, and I think that they'll target this, if Reading win, it could almost seal the fate of the bottom 3. So, I think it'd be a good game. I fancy Barnsley. I think this is their chance to find a way to almost get out of it. But it will be a good game.
Okay. Another London derby, I think, is Lewton Town versus Moorwall. I can't believe how high Lewton Town are.
Well, Luton have had a tremendous run, and especially at home. They're very strong at home. Millwall were having a great run. They were unbeaten in 8 until they came unstuck at Stoke and sort of surprised me, really. I think they're not totally out of it, Millwall, so they can't afford to lose this. But I think Luton will definitely start as favourites.
All right. Last but not least, at the bottom of the league, Derby County against Preston.
Yeah, well, look, Derby are, obviously with Barnsley picking up points, with Reading winning recent, in their last game. Derby are starting to fall adrift a little bit.
Yeah.
So, this is must win for them. They're running out of games. Preston, look, you know better than me, Budge.
Yeah.
Away from home, they're not an easy team to beat. I think this is, it's not last chance to lose, but I think for Derby, they have to win have to win this game, or I think that they could start to fall too far adrift. So I think I'm going to go for Derby only on the basis that they have to win.
Desperation. Steve, before you, we had another Steve on the line, Stephen Murphy, Sutton United supporter. Can they upset Rotherham on Sunday?
Look, it'd be lovely if they do. For effectively my local league team coming up and getting through. I think Rotherham will obviously start as favourites. Top of the League One as opposed to a team. And unfortunately, Sutton have lost a bit of form recently. Whilst they've been doing well in this EFL Cup, they've dropped down to 10th in the league. So, I'd love to see them do it, but I think Rotherham will be too strong.
All right, Steve, before I ask for your best bet and value bet, Tuesday, Wednesday next week, Champions League. Can I ask you quickly, Man City too good for Atletico Madrid?
I would think so. I mean, I wasn't as overly impressed with Atletico, really. Just United didn't play well against them, but I think City should be too strong.
Okay, now the one game that everyone seems to be undecided, Chelsea, Real Madrid?
Yeah, I mean, very much so. I mean, it depends what Real Madrid we're going to see. The team that played in the first game and the first half against PSG, or the way they played in the last half hour. Yeah. I think Chelsea will start as favourites, but Real Madrid know how to win this competition. I can't see them winning it, but they can certainly give Chelsea a shot. So I think of the games, this will be the tightest. I think Chelsea will probably just edge it. If they've got most of their players fit.
Okie dokie. Liverpool too strong for Benfica?
They should do. I mean, Benfica, I think, surprised everybody by going and winning in Ajax. Liverpool should be too strong. I can see them not losing over in Lisbon and winning comfortably back at Anfield. So I think Liverpool for me.
And Bayern Munich, Villarreal?
Yeah, I would be very surprised if Bayern didn't win that over two legs comfortably. Again, if they've got all their players fit after international duty, and Lewandowski is obviously still banging them in, I think they'll be too strong.
Steve, just to jump forward to the final, who have you got in the final? Man City against?
That's going to be
Liverpool or Bayern?
It can easily be two. Well, in a way, I prefer as a European final, if an English team's in there, is to play another European team, not another English team. Yeah. I sort of find that two English teams in the final, it's like you're watching a Premier League game and they cancel themselves out a bit. I'd like Liverpool to go through, but on the other hand, if Man City are going to win it, I think Man City probably got a better chance beating Bayern than beating Liverpool. So we'll see.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, Steve. Now pressure time again. Your best bet and value bet, please.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go for West Brom. I think West Brom start to show a bit of form. Yeah. Whether they'll make the playoffs, I don't know. But they've got the players to do it, and I think Birmingham are struggling a little bit. They're not going anywhere, up or down. So I think for me, West Brom, and a value bet, I'm going to go for Stoke City. They played really well in their last home game, completely outplayed and beat Moorwall. And I think at home, they might just be a little bit too strong for Sheffield United this week.
All right, Steve. Last but not least, last one standing. Anybody but Spurs? Is that still your attitude?
Yeah, I mean, at some point I'll have to pick Spurs and they'll win for me. And, I'm tempted this week, but don't tell Paul.
Okay, I won't tell him. Even though the world's listening, but I won't tell
Stevie,
Paul.
you little beauty.
Steve, hopefully the cricket's changed. Our girls have had a decent partnership, but it doesn't.
Whoever gets through, whoever gets through will probably get thrashed by Australia. So,
that's true.
It is what it is, isn't it? So, all
right, Steve, you have a good
best,
one. Thanks very much, Steve.
Cheers.
Bye.
Right, Budge, let's get rolling. A lot to get through here.
Yep.
Let's go with the Premiership fixtures. Liverpool, Watford.
It should be, Paul. The only thing against, as Steve said, a lot of international players coming back. So lunchtime kick-off, 1-7. Paul, what we've seen from Watford, Liverpool in great form. Paul, looks a mismatch, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Liverpool to win both halves, I think, was 7-10. That would be my suggestion there.
Okay, Brighton, Norwich.
Paul, Brighton, they both lost their last 6. Brighton have only scored 1 goal. At home, Brighton have only won 1 of the last 10. Paul, they just don't score goals. They outplay everybody, don't score, but surely they've got to beat Norwich, Paul.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be taking 5-10, Paul, but I wouldn't blame people if they did. But they
Burnley
should
got it all to do.
Paul, just hard to see Man City, Burnley. They're trying hard, Paul, but Man City, big game. But I've got to fancy Man City.
Yeah.
Paul.
Brentford. Brentford.
Paul, likewise, but I remember watching the first game and Chelsea beat them 1-0. They hung on for dear life.
Yes.
I think Brentford will score 13-10, both teams to score. With Ericsson in the team, Paul, they're always a threat. I don't see them winning. I think it's 26-10, Chelsea to win. I only saw that after doing the bets and both teams to score. But try to be Chelsea, Paul. It should be Chelsea.
Yeah. Okay, then Leeds, interesting game. Leeds, Southampton.
Paul, Southampton, they've lost the last 3, Paul, but they have got a small squad. When they play FA Cup and that, they've had the break. I think goals is the way to go, Paul. Over 2.5 goals, 6-10. Everyone's jumping on the Leeds bandwagon. They were getting destroyed by Wolves last week. Yes. And then Raul Jimenez got sent off. That changed the whole game. They would have got beat 4-0. So I wouldn't be jumping on the Leeds bandwagon so early. I think there's goals in this, Paul. That's the way I would go in that particular game.
Okay, let's talk about Wolves.
Paul, Aston Villa are my best each way value bit of the weekend. Wolves have lost. Raul Jimenez is suspended. The midfield player, Ruben Neves, is injured. Those are their 2 best players. Aston Villa, local derby. Ollie Watkins scored for England's Tyrone Mings. Gerald will have them fired up. Paul, of the 2 teams, I think there'll be goals in there. I like Aston Villa, Paul, 16-10.
Okay, Man United, Leicester.
Paul, my test has always been my way to go, and I don't like what I see from United. All you hear are comments about manager, this and that, but Leicester away from home are woeful. They've lost 5 of the last 6. If United can't beat them at home, top 4's over.
West Ham should beat
Paul,
Everton.
West Ham's my bet of the day, bet of the weekend.
Yes,
Paul, 8-10.
Too strong.
I don't like what I see defensively from Everton. Every set piece is a weakness for them, and West Ham are great in those set pieces. So 8-10, Paul. Good things.
Spurs Newcastle will be a good game. I think Spurs are in a good space.
Paul, as long as Spurs defend, and you'll know that better than me, I think they'll win. But that's Spurs' problem. Going forward is okay. It's just defensively.
Let's go back on Spurs. Who scored against them last?
Well, they've not. The last 2.
They're banging in 3-4.
No, sure.
But they've had a few clean sheets.
Yeah, they have.
It hasn't been that bad.
I think. But Paul, it's hard if you go 1-0 down and then you've got to fight back.
Yeah, they mustn't go 1-0
Newcastle are well organised. They've lost their last 2 games, but didn't deserve to lose to Chelsea. Should have got a penalty.
Yes.
Murdered Everton and they scored a superb goal.
Yes.
So it'll be a tough game, Paul, but I do fancy Spurs.
Yeah. Palace are doing well. They play Arsenal.
Paul, they drew with Man City. I like Arsenal, the 2 teams. Paul, it's rolling for them. A lot of good young players on a high, guys playing for the nations. Even money, Paul. I think there'll be goals in this game. Vieira, nothing to lose. The last game at the Emirates ended up 2-2. I think there's goals in this game, Paul. I like Arsenal of the 2 teams.
Just touching us. Yeah, you go the top 4 race: Chelsea 3rd, Arsenal 4th at the moment, Tottenham, Man United. Down to West Ham, but I don't think Wolves can get in there.
No, Paul. I think it's between Tottenham and Arsenal top 4.
Okay, then let's look at the relegation scrap, Butch.
Well,
Norwich.
I think that Norwich are gone. I think Watford are under pressure, but it's between Everton and Burnley for me, the relegation.
Wow,
Everton get a smack this week.
Not Leeds, who've had 30 games.
No, Leeds will stay up.
Okay, all right. But let's go Championship. Always interesting.
Well, kicks off on Friday. Paul, Hull City at home, they're woeful. I think they've lost their last 4. I think they haven't scored a...
Strange, eh?
Huddersfield, Paul, are going well. They're in the top 6. Paul, it was 17-10 to me looks a gift. I want to see what the win and draw is. I think it'll be like 5-10. I don't see Huddersfield losing, Paul. They're in great form, going for a top 4 place. Hull City, they are safe, but on current form, Paul, it's got to be Huddersfield.
All right. Blackpool
Paul,
Forest.
Blackpool they've won 5, drawn 1 and lost 1 of the last 7 at home. The game they got beat was to Bournemouth. Bournemouth scored an injury time to roll them.
Yeah.
Now, Notts Forest have disappointed me. They're on the outskirts. They've had a great cup run. They got beat by Liverpool. It's now time to stand up. A lot of good young players, Paul, but this is an easy game. I think the draw's a player.
Okay, Bournemouth, Bristol.
Paul, Bournemouth are second. They're 6 points ahead of the 3rd team with 2 games in hand. They win the next couple of games, like Fulham, I think they'll be up. Bristol City score, but Bournemouth to win, both teams to score 5-2.
Okay.
Barnsley, Reading, Paul. I don't see Barnsley losing to Reading. At home, their last home game they drew with Fulham, even though Fulham should have squeaked it in the last minute. Paul, 6-10. I think it's 5.5, 6-10. Barnsley to win with a 1-goal start. That's my play there, Paul. Barnsley in the draw. I don't see them losing.
All right, what about Cardiff, Swansea?
Paul, obviously Welsh derby. I like Cardiff for the two teams, Paul. I think the draw is obviously a play. You know what local derbies are, but both teams to score is my suggestion there. But of the two teams, I like Cardiff. Right. Coventry, Blackburn. Blackburn lost their Chilean striker, Brereton Diaz. He got injured. They haven't scored in the last 7 away games, Blackburn. So on that assumption, 12-10, Coventry, Paul, should be a banker, but you just never know with them. At home, their form isn't the greatest, but I don't see them losing.
Last throw
Derby, it is, Paul. You have a look at their home form. They've only lost one of the last 7. I think that was to Moorwall. There again, Preston have only lost one of our last 7 away from home, and that was at Luton when we got a hiding 4-0. Derby have got to go for it, Paul, so there should be goals in this game. I don't see Preston losing, but my heart's with Wayne Rooney. I hope he's done a great job, but I think 8 points behind.
Put his money up.
So I hope Derby do get a result, Paul, but I don't see it. Luton, Moorwall, tight game, Paul. Moorwall have only lost 1 in 9, and Luton at home, the only time they've lost is when we backed them on a Sunday to QPR. Paul, both teams to score even money, Paul. That's my suggestion there. I think a draw is a big player.
Okay, let's move on to the next one, Budge.
The next page
is
Peterborough, Middlesbrough. Well, Peterborough won at QPR, so they'll have a go, but their home form isn't the greatest. And Middlesbrough, like Notts Forest, great cup run. Yeah. It's time to put up or shut up, Paul. 7-10, Middlesbrough it should be, but you just never know, Paul. A lot of youngsters in the team. I think it draws a player as well, Paul. But I don't see
QPR, Fulham?
Paul, it's got to be Fulham. Fulham got beat by West Brom away. As Steve said, they've been a little bit cock-a-hoop. A lot of players at the international. Now they know. Win the next few and it's over. QPR have been woeful, Paul. We backed them a couple of times. Local derby, maybe they need the break as well. Fulham to me and goals in there, Paul. They've both got to go for it, especially QPR. I think Fulham will win, Paul, 8-10.
Stevie likes Stoke.
Yeah. Paul, Sheffield United away from home haven't won in 4. At home, they're dangerous at home, but Stoke, a lot of talented players, Paul. Only won one of the last 9, but that was against Moorwall. 2-1's a good price, Paul, but I think a draw's a big player there.
Birmingham City, West Brom?
Well, West Brom did beat, they beat Fulham 1-0 at home, unbeaten in 4. Something about Birmingham City, Paul, but local derby, Paul, I think goals is the best way to go there.
Okay, I'm just looking at the championship standings. Third, Luton, 63 points. Huddersfield, 63 points. Sheffield United, 61 points. Blackburn, 61. Middlesbrough, 59. And QPR, 57. Not for us, 58. 59 QPR. Yeah. So, you're right. There's a lot to play for. Paul. A couple of 3 or 4 wins in a row when you're in the mix. Relegation fight. We can start talking about these things now.
There's only, I think,
Derby struggling, obviously, because Peterborough, 23rd.
I can't win at home, Paul.
Sure, only 26 points. Barnsley, 28 points, and Reading, 33. Reading, as Steve says, Reading win, they get out of trouble.
Reading win, then they 2-point difference. Big game.
Let's go local. Local is lovely and lacquer, whatever they call it. Let's go have a look at Stellenbosch.
Paul, Stellenbosch can't score at home. They've been terrible at home. I don't know what Steve's got to sort something out. But fortunately, they play a Sekakuna United team who don't score away from home. I think the last 4 away games have only scored 1 goal. The draw has to be a player, but I don't see Stellenbosch losing. Paul, TS Galaxy at home, they give everybody a game. But Royal AM are a good team. They're second.
But just where do Royal AM play at?
At a Chatsworth.
Now, the Brazilian vet came and spoke to me. He's got a mate who plays up front for Royal AM. He played in the top leagues in Brazil years ago. Okay. He's playing for Royal AM, and he must have heard about our show and wants to meet with us. I said, yeah. Only thing is, his English is
Or bring the vet.
Yeah, we've got to have an interpreter with him. Yeah, but we're going to bring him in. He's a striker of their top player. So I'll keep an eye on their team from now. Royal AM. Yeah,
Paul, they're going great second. I think they can win the Nedbank Cup. They're the only team that Sundowns have got to beat. All the other top teams are gone. Paul, 11-10 away from home, it's hard to take. As TS Galaxy are struggling, but they'll fight. Paul, I think the draw's a massive player in that game, 21-10.
Chipper?
Paul, Chipper, last 8 home games, drawn 6, lost 2. But, Chiefs played well against Pirates, and they lost at home to Golden Arrows. Paul, I like Chiefs are the two teams, but
Right.
they don't get beat, Chipper. I think they're playing in PE, so the draw has to be a player. But of the two teams, I like Chiefs.
Just while we're talking about this league and that, Amazulu firing the
Yeah.
coach. But
Well,
they came second in the league
Well,
last
that's the
year.
problem, Paul. He spoilt them. They got to the Champions League. Now they think they're better than what they actually are.
Zungu's the owner. He should be hung up, man. What
Paul,
what
you know,
more
it's-
does he want?
Paul, the thing is, they overachieved last year.
But still, that's great. You got that in the locker. You were runner-up. And then they fire Benny
Paul,
McCarthy.
they won't finish top 8. The players will
Yeah.
go and they'll be the old Amazulu. They'll be
That was
hanging
the
on
old
from next
Amazulu.
year.
Benny McCarthy did a great job there. I really,
He
really...
did too good a job, Paul. It was
That's
like
right.
Leicester when they won the league
Yes.
under Mancini. The next
Tinkerman.
year he was on a hiding to nothing.
Ranieri.
Sorry, Ranieri.
Yeah, that was the Tinkerman.
Yeah, Tinkerman.
Okay, Golden Arrows Supersport.
Paul, the other guy, Golden Arrow Supersport. Paul, I like arrows. Hard to beat at Sugar Ray Kulu Stadium. Supersport haven't done well away from home the last few weeks. The goalkeeper must still be shell-shocked after the hiding they took against France playing for Bafana. He's the captain, Rowan Williams. I like arrows, Paul, 17-10.
Okay, Maritzburg against Swallows.
Yeah, you know, Swallows, Dylan's struggling at the bottom, Paul. There's only a point separating a few teams. But Maritzburg and Harry Gwala, Paul, especially at night, hard to beat.
Hard to beat.
Paul, 16-10, both teams to score. That's my bet there.
Okay.
And the last but not least, it's got to be Cape Town City, Paul.
Yeah.
Cape Town, 6
Baraka's
wins, 2
struggling.
draws away from home. Baraka can't win away from home. Paul, 7-10, Cape Town City.
All right,
all day.
let's go on to your 6s
Yeah,
and
on to
7s.
our soccer exotic. So this is our Gold Circle one. I've thrown the draw with Brighton and Hove Albion at home to Norwich City. I think Man City will be too good for Burnley, as well as Chelsea, too good for Brentford at home. I've gone the field in the Leeds United, Southampton, Wolverhampton Wanderers, Aston Villa games, and I've thrown the draw in with Man United at home to Leicester, 2-1-6.
Right.
Onto the Pumalela PSL Soccer 6. I'm going Stellenbosch win and draw at home against Sekhukhune United. I don't see Royal AM losing at TS Galaxy. I've gone Aston Villa win and draw at Wolverhampton Wanderers. I'm going Kaizer Chiefs to avoid defeat at Chipper United. I'm chancing Golden Arrows to be too good for Supersport United. And I've thrown the draw in with Maritzburg United, Morocco Swallows, 2-1-6.
Let's go to 10.
Onto the 10, yeah. I'm banking Liverpool to beat Watford, Nottingham Forest win and draw at Blackpool, banking Brighton to beat Norwich, Man City to beat Burnley, Chelsea to beat Brentford. The second page, I'm going the field in the Leeds United, Southampton, Wolverhampton Wanderers, Aston Villa matches. I've gone Borussia Dortmund win and draw at home against RB Leipzig. I don't trust Real Madrid to win at Celta Vigo, and I've thrown the draw in with Man United at home to Leicester City, 288.
Right, the big one.
On to the big one, the Soccer 13, which is the carryover. I'm banking Man United to beat Leicester, Chelsea to beat Brentford, Man City to beat Burnley. I don't see Southampton losing at Leeds United with Bamford missing especially. I'm going Aston Villa win and draw at Wolves, banking Brighton to beat Norwich. I'm going Sheffield United win and draw at Stoke City. Onto the second page, I'm banking Coventry City to beat Blackburn Rovers, Fulham to beat Queen's Park Rangers, and Barnsley win and draw at home against Reading, as well as Cardiff City win and draw at home against Swansea City, and Lewton Town to avoid defeat at home against Moorwall. And the Swedish League is starting, so they've thrown one in. I'm chancing ARK Stockholm to avoid defeat, against Häcken, 256.
Okay, let's go to your best
On to
bets.
our bets, Paul. I'm going Aston Villa to beat Wolves, West Ham to beat Everton, and I think there's going to be over 2.5 goals in the Leeds United, Southampton, and Crystal Palace Arsenal fixtures, 3,000 to 200.
Okay.
Team goals only, I'm going West Ham, Tottenham, and Arsenal, all to score over 1.5 goals. And I think Brentford will score against Chelsea, 2,200 to 200. Onto the championship, I'm going Bournemouth to beat Bristol City and both teams to score. Fulham to beat QPR and both teams to score. And I'm going Barnsley with a +1 handicap. It's the same as double chance, but it's better value. 3,300 to 200.
Okay.
Both teams to score sides are Chelsea, Brentford, Cardiff City, Swansea City, Lewton Town, Moorwall, and Birmingham City, West Brom, 3,000 to 200. This week, I'm going for PSL bets. I'm going Golden Arrows to beat Supersport United, Cape Town City to beat Baraka, and both teams to score. Maritzburg United, Swallows, 2,200 to 200. And our Collis King 6 and Nick, so I'm going Liverpool to beat Watford, West Ham to beat Everton, Arsenal to beat Crystal Palace, Fulham to beat QPR, AC Milan to beat Bologna, and Barcelona to beat Sevilla. 2,800 to 200.
Fantastic, Budge. I always enjoy your best bets. Right. Don't forget, last one standing. Any Friday night game?
No, Paul, 11 o'clock Saturday.
Clocks have
gone back. So the first game's at 1:30. There'll be a few
1:30.
stragglers, Paul, but
Yeah, we'll chase them up.
Chase them up, yeah.
All right. Until next time, stay on side.